All right, guys, let's get started with market of the moment. We're going to go over May numbers. For some reason, I keep thinking it's June. I mean, it is June, but the numbers are June. So let me just kind of, our goal is to go over the previous month. We're going to go year over year data, and then we're going to dive into MLS. We're going to talk about market share, and then just some strategies about the market right now. Okay. So where we find this data, it's pretty easy. You're just going to log into MLS. You're going to do market stats right here. And then this pops up. So something that I did that's a little modification of a normal screen is I changed it from all construction to resale. And I changed it from a line graph to a bar graph. And so let's kind of run down the general numbers. And then I also want to do year-to-date numbers because there is a little variation. So overall, May was probably one of the strongest months we've had in at least the last 6 months in November, December when we started tracking things. So I thought a little bit different is I will compare 3 years versus 2 years. So average sales price has climbed in Richmond to 347,000. It's up 15.9%. But what the interesting thing is, you'll see kind of escalation. This is obviously 2 years ago. This is obviously 2020. It was only up 5%. So we have jumped pretty dramatically. So that's for the month. And then if I toggle year to date, we're still pretty high. So for the month of May, it was 15.9, and year to date, we're at 14.7. So again, communicating to your sellers that prices are increasing is a good thing. Make sure that you're sharing that with them. Let's look at new listings. This is interesting. You can see, obviously, last year we dipped because of the pandemic. We were obviously right in the thick of it in May. But last year we had, the previous year we had 2,776 listings for the month of May. And we have 2,418, so we're up 29%. But you see that huge decline. So we really aren't back on new listings like we were before the pandemic. And then I'm toggling back and forth just to give you perspective of year to date. Year to date, we've listed 9,000 listings versus 11,000. So we're climbing, quote, out of the hole with as far as listings, but it's not there yet. But we had a very strong May to kind of make up for some of that. Pending sales up 23% for the month of May. But if you noticed, we're ahead of where we were pre-pandemic. So the good thing is that we're holding steady. You guys probably saw last month in May a lot of activity. I've been hearing just feedback-wise that June is not, quote, as busy. I think that's vacations. I think a lot of people are saying vaccinations are, allowing people to go on vacation and whatnot. So we'll see next month on how that impacts the volume. So closed sale for the month of May, up 19%. Again, looking at comparing month over month, right? So May of 2020, we dipped down, obviously pandemic. So you're seeing a lot of the same data points, but we're really right on schedule for closed volume, 1939 versus 1920. What is that, like 19 units? So we're really close to closed volume, or as far as closed sales. And then days on market, we know that that's been crazy. That's the average right now is 13 days. Imagine when it was almost 30 days of days on market, right? We're a little spoiled with that. The month supply, we're less than a month, 0.8. Again, look at that. A normal market's 6 months, but we haven't even been in a normal market for many, many years, all right? Dollar volume, just to kind of give you perspective, again, on the month of May, very, very strong. We had a volume 39% increase over last year. Again, taking some of that math away because of that, we were still up every bit of 20%. And we've exceeded what we did in 2019. So obviously that's depicted because of the price points are increasing. And then year to date, we are rocking it. We're up 28% for the overall. So kind of the message here is that we had a really strong May that's really brought us some great numbers. It's really evening out things based on 2019. 2020, as strong as it was, it's definitely indicating that 2021 is a stronger year yet. So we're excited to see that hopefully continue. Well, so let's go into MLS area numbers real quick. I always have to use this as a little cheat sheet for myself. Let's kind of go into the city first and see what variations are. I wrote down these numbers, so what I'll do is I'll compare the overall MLS with different area numbers, so you can see pockets of activity. You can see kind of how things are rolling. So monthly resale. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I did want to go over a little bit of new construction, if that's okay. I like to compare them separately just so you can see that. All right, so last month in resale, we were up 15%. We're up 12% in new construction. Home sales and resale were down 46% versus 49%. And what that means by home for sale is there's new listings and homes for sale. It subtracts the new listings minus the pending sales. It gives you the difference of those. So in new construction, it's slightly down for pendings versus resale, it's up. A lot of that indication is that the new construction can't keep up. They're building as fast as they can, but if you've been in new construction space, new sections are opening up, they're on waiting lists. But you can see that in new construction world, pending sales were slightly down, 315 units versus the same time last year was 360. But you can see a huge surge in closed. And remember, closed is a 60 to 90 day cycle. And in new construction, it could be up to 6 to 7 months, right? So they may be building something that they started in December and closing on it in May. So it's up 19% and resale is up as well. That's the first time that new construction and resale are about the same closed status. If you remember the last couple of market of the moments, that was generally a very dramatic difference. Let me actually see year to date. So year to date, new construction is up 26%. Yeah, that's more dramatic. And then resale is up 12%. So you can see overall, new construction is still taking a chunk of the pie when it comes to the overall year-to-date data, okay? So just giving you an idea of that, I also wanted to just give you the average price per square foot for resale is $172 a square foot, again, for the month. And then new construction is at 175. So you see I've been saying this for a while, it's not cheaper, or it's about the same price to buy a new car versus a used car, right? So if you're buying new construction at $175 a square foot and you're buying resale at $172 a square foot, eventually the consumer is going to be questioning kind of the resale value of those used homes, right? And so let me just flip to year date, make sure we can see that. Your resale, 174, 165. So the average is not that much different. So again, what we've talked about it last couple times is that new construction and their prices seem high, but they're actually competitive with the resale market. And in fact, we saw 3 to 4 months ago, they didn't raise any prices and they were actually behind on pricing strategies. So just want you to be aware of that. All right, so now let's dive in to a few MLS area numbers. All right, MLS. Let's just do general monthly. Let me do resale, perfect. All right, so average in area 10, up 18%, which let me actually do year to date on these. Area 10 is up 19%, but the average right now is 14%. So area 10 is a little ahead of the curve. And then new listings, there's an increase compared to last year, just slightly, up 3%, but it's beating the average, which was 2.3 overall. Pending sales up 14%, again beating the pending averages. Closed up 18%, and that's also beating the averages. So again, dollar volume is up 42%. So area 10 in the city is killing it. So if you sell in that area, that is a hot pocket to do. It's actually ahead of the trends. So if I were to market to area 10, whether it's an area number or a neighborhood, I would actually show that you're beating the market. So it's interesting to show them that, like, here's the average, right? So here's the average sales price is $375 versus the average is overall is $347. So if you live in area 10, you're getting, what is that, $25,000 more for your house, right? So how do we tell a story? How do we communicate these numbers? Because people glaze over with numbers, but when you tell a story, it's better, right? All right, so let's kind of keep rolling through. I'll do 20. I won't do all of these. Up 6%. New listings, 4.6. Bless you. Pending sales up 6.4. Closed sales down 5.1. Not by much. These percentages don't have a huge impact when you're at 156 houses versus 148. I mean, that's just 6 or 7 houses, right? But you can see a dramatic difference between area 20 and area 10. So if you're serving the Richmond market, make sure when you're doing obviously CMAs and looking at this, there's a big swing difference between area 10 and area 20. 10 was ahead of the market, meaning they're beating the average. What area 20 is not. So, just like the different parts of Chesterfield and just different parts of Henrico are variances. So just kind of keep you aware of that. All right, so let's go to the last couple here. 32, 34. Let me do this real quick. Where am I at? Okay. All right, so let's do some Henrico numbers. So Henrico up 16%. That's ahead of the curve, right? New listings up 13. That's a dramatic increase. Remember that the average right now year to date is only 2.3. Pending sales up 8.6. That's actually a little bit down, which is surprising compared to what's going on, but closed is up 5%. So I would just say Area 32 is kind of treading water where their averages are good. Obviously, they're positive numbers, but they're not dramatically impacting the market. I have a prediction that Chesterfield is going to carry that a lot. So we'll look at that in a second. And volume is up 23, which it's pretty much the average right now is 28% increase. So that's kind of where we're at. And that's, again, those are year-to-date numbers. All right, let's look at 34 real quick, and then we'll switch to Chesterfield and we'll finish out. Sorry, sales price up 13%. A little bit, it's almost on trend. 14 was the other number we were looking at as the average, right? So competitively priced there. New listings up 5%, a little bit higher than the average. So I like to see this. Let's actually see a 3-year trend on that. That's what I thought. So interestingly enough is we're excited about this 5% increase, but we had such a huge decline last year because of pandemic and just life. But look where we were in Henrico Area 34, 791 houses year to date versus 652, right? So if you live in Henrico, you work in Henrico, you can feel that we're trying to climb out of this listing inventory problem, and it's hard. Again, this is resale. This is not new construction. And so a lot of people are just staying put in Henrico. They're not moving. And so those houses are selling dramatically more. And so if you look at pending sales, up 10%. But again, we're not back where we were 2 years ago. Closed sale, we're up 5.6. Again, haven't recovered there. And then dollar volume, we're exceeding that. So that's just the true example of supply and demand in Henrico. All right, so let's go into some Chesterfield stuff. Let's do 5254. All right, so right now, year to date, average sales price is up 18%. It's above trend, right? New listings, 6%, which is above trend. Pending sales is 11.5, right at trend, so they're kind of holding steady there. And then 14% increase on closed volume. Remember, that's ahead of the 12% average. So they're kind of, Chesterfield's carrying that market at a high level. So screening that and telling people that that is something you should be looking at is important, I think. And then dollar volume overall should be, yeah, it should be exceeding everything. Let's look at comparing 54 to 52 because I want you guys to see that there is a difference. Let me talk, I don't know if I can, yeah, I can toggle back and forth. The 17% is the average for 54. I wanted you to see the dramatic difference. And then 18, but look at that, 52, the average price is 278 versus 315. So obviously area 54, again, this is resale only. Area 54 is, quote, more expensive, like the price to be in that market is a little bit higher. So that's important to obviously share with buyers moving into the market. New listings overall year to date is up 4.6%. Pending sales is up 11. That looks great. Look at that. We're kind of exceeding what we did 2 years ago. We want to see those to be exceeding those. Interestingly enough, that we didn't dip that much in the previous year, which is, again, COVID, right? So what we did in 2019 is essentially what we've done year to date 2020. So Area 54 didn't impact, COVID didn't impact 54 at a high level at all. Again, we're seeing those increases. That's good stuff. That just shows a very strong market in 54. So it's important to kind of look at that. Okay, and then dollar volume is up, of course. It's just crazy how they really weathered the storm last year, and then now you're just blowing it out of the water. So anybody covering Area 54 should be having a strong business. And if you're not, I kind of would question, what are we doing? What do we need to do differently to get into that space, right? 52, 54, okay, 62, 64, let's do that. And then we'll do just a market update on market share, 62. All right, sales price, again, is up 16%. New listings down 2.1, not a huge difference. I don't know, that's 20-something units, but look how far behind it is on compared to the previous year, right? So definitely something to watch out for. If Area 62 is an opportunity to farm some neighborhoods or to get some calls in, right? Pending sales, you can see there's a demand there. So there's lack of inventory. There's only 900 houses, right, that are listed, but pending was 842. It is essentially eating every single house up. So it is crazy. And then closed units are up 15%. So it's not like no one, quote, wants to be in Area 62. There's just not inventory to show buyers to. So I would definitely think that's something to communicate with. Look how the huge increase in price. How cool would a postcard be that said, 2 years ago, your house was worth 202. In 2021, your house is worth 260,000. Would you like to make an extra $57,000, right? That would be a good impact postcard to show just how dramatic some of the pricing is in that space. That's insane. All right, let's do last one real quick. I know we're getting through time here. Average right now on sales price up 22%. I don't know if you realize that's the highest increase of sales price we've seen so far. So that's, again, year to date, but that's a dramatic increase. Another great opportunity of a postcard there or a social media post. Homes for sale. Again, that's the difference of what's listed versus pending. There's no houses. There's only 31 houses. That's insane. in Area 64, if you have a buyer, you have 31 houses in all price ranges. Like, that's crazy. 5.6 is pending sales. Remember, the average is 11, so we're a little lagging in that area. But that probably is because inventory. There's 31 houses. How the heck are we going to make that up, right? I do like to see that, again, that's trending above where we were on the 2019 closed sales. It's trending above as well. And then dollar volume, of course, is exceeding because the price points are going up so dramatically, right? That gives you an overview of the MLS, CBR MLS as a whole. Then they kind of does a little deep dive into MLS area numbers. I encourage you, if you work in other areas, I mean, there's every area number in here that you want to service, Petersburg all the way down, right? So kind of get in there. So the next thing we always tend to cover is just kind of what we call a market review. This is more agent and agency brokerage. Again, this is just a snapshot to see. You may know some of the names on this sheet and maybe follow them on social media. See some of the trends of what they're doing. Again, we don't want to compare ourselves, but it's always interesting to see what our competitors or what our peers are doing. So right now, year to date for volume resale, I'm just going to, Kyle Yeaman's number one. Overall units, he's at 103 units. And you can see listing side and sale side almost even, 50 units list, 52 units buy. Jenny is number 2, Cabell is number 3, John Daler is number 4. Who else? Margaret Wade is 7. Austin Highfield is number 9. Mark Austin Highfield, by the way, not the son that we know and love. And Brad Ruckert is number 11. Strom Ryan Sanford, number 12. Mike Hogan, 14. So just giving you a little insight of that. Clayton Getz is number 22. I'm just shouting out a few names. Chris Smalls, 30. Tina McKay was 32. Craig Bias, 34. Heather Valentine's number 40. Beth Pretty, number 49. Good for her. Sarah Bice, 57. Lindsay Jones, 59. It goes to 100, so let me get through some of these. John Pace, 76. Debbie Gibbs, she's been around a while, doing great. She's at 81. Rick Cox is 90. Greer Jones, 94. And rounding out the top 100 is, I don't know this person, Eliza Branch, right? And then let me go over, that was agent. Let me just go what we call the firm report. So year to date, Long & Foster is number 1 with over $702 million and closed volume. Hometown number 2. Joyner Fine Properties number 3. EXP number 4. And EXP's climbed dramatically over the last 6 months. Of course, they're recruiting a lot of agents, so that obviously is increasing their volume. Shaheen Ruth Martin Fonville is number 5. That's great to see. Obviously, they're a, quote, younger company. They obviously have local ties, but that's good to see they're in the top 5. Keller Williams Realty, which is in the Keller Williams KWMS02. That's actually Midlothian, I believe, right? No, that's actually Richmond West. So Richmond West is number 6. Non-MLS is number 7. We've seen a lot of that in growing. What that is obviously FSBOs. That's people not in the area. That's taking a huge chunk of our business. Those are off markets. So $131 million in non-MLS office stuff. So that is dramatically different than it used to be. that space with off market and people coming into the market that aren't licensed, aren't MLS users. They're licensed in Virginia, but maybe they're coming down from Virginia Beach or Northern Virginia, right? All right, number 8, United Real Estate. RE/MAX is number 9. Commonwealth, which is here in the West End. Napier, ERA is 10. Keller Williams is number 11. One South is 12. Hogan Group is 14. I'm just going to skip through some. Fathom is 17. Lismore 19. Clock Tower is 25. Keaton and Company is 28. River Fox is 29. Next Home, they're a new brokerage in town. They're number 32. They're really doing well with that. Right behind Valentine Properties overall is 33. Icon Realty is number 40. Liz Moore and Associates is 44. And let me get to the near bottom. Some of these I don't even know, right? So Hope Realty, Triple Diamond Realty, those are in the 94, 96, 98s. Exit Realty is 91. So again, just giving you a little bit of a pulse on the market and your competitors and overall brokerages. We kind of in summary, May was a great month. The interesting thing is, will June numbers stack up? We'll compare those next month. Our next market at the moment is in July, which is insane that we're even in that market. In that time frame. It is going to be July 21st. So we'll go over the overall numbers for June at that point. So we'll kind of do a snapshot, and then we're getting close to that half year point where we're going to look at what we compare the first 6 months of the pandemic were versus what we have going on in our world now, and to see if we're keeping on pace, to see if the puck is moving or if we're steady overall. So, well, thank you guys for joining me. And if you want to listen to this recording, I will post it on our closed Facebook group. If you want to go in and do some additional research yourself, I challenge you to do so, because I think it's important that you kind of know the local market, right? All right, well, have a great morning, everybody, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.